You are live. आप लोग भी इस तरफ
Hello everyone. Today there is a food drive in Aurora City, and this initiative by Library Create. So let's meet the Library Create people here, and there is Alderman Mr. Aurora City Alderman Mr. John Lesh. So we will meet to him here, and we will get to know about this food drive. It's an annual drive, and let's meet the first founder of Library Create, Mr. Nikunj Tyagi. So hi Nikunj, how are you? So can you tell us something about the Library Create and this annual food drive?
Yeah, for sure. So first of all, thank you everyone for coming and coming together. It's great to see everyone out here. Haven't seen you guys in a while since I've been off to college. But yeah, I mean, Library Create started with a small goal back when I was in middle school to just help kids in India out with literacy and education. Since then, we've worked with over 4 schools, and we've built 2 libraries there in the schools. So it's been a great effort since then, just fundraising with people, doing tennis camps, book clubs, working with kids in different schools from the area, and working with communities just like ours. So once again, it's great to see everyone come out here. I'll keep you guys updated on how fundraising and how we're doing with the libraries. It's a tough initiative to get out there and to start, but with the help of people like you guys, we can get even more libraries built, affecting more kids' lives. And especially here in Aurora, like I said in the video that I made earlier, over 850 kids per week rely on the Aurora Food Pantry for food and necessary nutrition. So just coming out here and gathering food for them, maybe this will help them for a few weeks, right? But whatever we can do to help people, we should always try to do that and come together as one big family, one big community, and do what we can. So thank you, and yeah, I'll let Mr. John Lash be introduced.
Yeah, I'll introduce him. Thank you. So John is a local leader, and I admire him for his activities that he does for people like us. He's always there. He's always fighting for people against establishment, and that is what I like about John, and that is how I got to know him. He ran for mayor last time. Obviously, he was running against the establishment and against the corrupt politicians that not only in Aurora but in Chicago area that we see. So he's always standing up there, and we joined hands during the movement against the casino. And I think you all have signed. I think we got enough 500 signatures on my petition as well. And he was very vocal there, and he supported me in bringing to the city council when I spoke there. So we started building a friendship there. But he ran for the Congress, he ran for the mayor, and then finally he's elected as Alderman at large from city of Aurora. So we are really happy to have you, a local leader and local fighter. And we will, as you are talking to many people, they are really curious and they are ready to build a relationship with you. And they have a lot of questions. And this community is always trying to do things together. Like Tom is a great example. As we were talking about him, he's so popular in our community, but he's every day he's doing something for us. Every day he's as I said, he started with 3 houses, and now we have 21 houses, having lights and things, and we play on music. And he has his house, if you go down, it's like a security room, so he can monitor 25 houses from his basement, and it's like 10 monitors, and then he did a lot of planning, he would spend hundreds of dollars in just planning. It's such a meticulous planning.
From his own pocket.
From his own pocket, and then he would have printouts and PDFs and Excel sheets and all that. I was so inspired, not I hire many project managers and they can't do this job. So
That is true.
Yeah, so he's doing an amazing job. So you will find that many
Meticulous planning.
You will find people like Tom in our community where there are many some of them are not here anything they do paving the what you call the driveway we'll do 30 houses together. So we want to do everything together. So with that, you will find a lot of questions here, but I welcome you for joining our initiative and encouraging us to do this. that, John, you want to talk about this food drive, and then you will, like, once you talk about, then once you are done, then we can open to the questions and answers.
Sure.
So, yeah.
So first of all, thank you so much for your work and volunteering. I'm not originally from Aurora. I was actually born and raised in Liberia, West Africa. Lived on a small, in a mission field. My father was a linguist translating the Bible into the language of Grebo. But they also, while they were there, helped establish clinics, schools, and so forth, and it relied on people like you raising the money in the United States with all kinds of events like this, ice cream socials and so forth, to bring the resources to that part of town. So I know firsthand what it looks like for the people that are receiving the books and the facilities that you work to raise. And I think the food pantry also is in great need right now. We are seeing refugees being bused into Chicago from our southern border, and those people are finding their way out to Aurora. So not only are we facing a tough economy where some people in our own communities are losing their homes and struggling harder and harder to survive with inflation, but we're also seeing an influx of people from other countries coming here. Well, they're being bused and left in Chicago. They're also being driven down to Aurora and Joliet, some because they have families here. But the food pantries are definitely seeing an increased need and demand, and this effort will help offset that and help feed people, especially as we go into the winter months. Two of the big issues for me is housing insecurity, food insecurity. We are a very wealthy nation. When we have enough to be able to support people in other countries, also we must first look here in our own city and make sure that we're not letting anybody slip between the cracks. So just very grateful for your efforts in the Library Create. I didn't know when we first met that this existed, but clearly good parenting. So anyway, I wanted to make people aware, first off, some things that all of the older people do have is some resources that come from the Riverboat. It's called the Riverboat Fund that funds, and we can appropriate money to nonprofits to support these initiatives. I've used mine to support the Aurora Food Pantry, Interfaith Food Pantry, and we'll also be supporting the Marie Wilkinson Food Pantry, and even this initiative, happy to support. So wanted to make everybody aware of that. I gave you a little bit of my background. Since getting elected, we went to that city council meeting when they were giving $50 million of our money to this casino, a multi-billion-dollar company. I felt it was wrong and not a good use of city resources, and it's causing all of us to pay a little bit more in property taxes. Look, we're paying for our schools and the things that we invest in. People care about that, but billing out a billion-dollar company made no sense to me. So eventually some of us ran for office. Of the 7 people that were running at different levels, library board, school board, and there were 3 council races we contested. I was the only council person. We won 4 of the other seats on the library board and school board. So it was a lifelong effort, I think, to restore our democracy, to be able to run these races without political contributions from the wealthy, the powerful, the politically connected, so that we might have a government and economy that works for everybody, not just the wealthy, powerful few who can buy influence. So in my long term here, that is a big goal of mine, to restore democracy. And part of restoring democracy means coming out and listening to the concerns that people have, so we can take those concerns to the council dais where I sit and vote, and make sure that your voice and ideas reach that. I believe that your idea of community is excellent, in that when you come together, you'll find that I might have a really good idea, but somebody else raising their voice will make that idea better, and a third person and a fourth person might have a concern about the idea because it impacts someone in their family. But when you come together, that's when you build the best ideas. And that doesn't really happen right now at the council, I can assure you of that. But there were 4 of us at a League of Women Voters event today, and I could tell that just me being elected and forcing a lot of these conversations into the public is producing more dialogue amongst us, and I think that is positive and good. Another positive result, we're going into the budget process, and again, in the past, a lot of this happened behind closed doors. There's going to be 9 public meetings where they just talk about the budget, and each department, how that money will come forward. And I will guarantee I will be asking some questions, making some recommendations. There's several things that I decided to focus on very early. One is traffic issues, which you made me aware of the pond. But the old road has been a very significant traffic area with a lot of speeding, a lot of safety issues. Parents are concerned about their kids crossing Viola to get to school. And the other thing, I guess there's three things I'm going to talk about in addition to other goals that I've picked up while talking to voters going door to door. The second is wanting to see a Department of Sustainability or Sustainability Manager. I'm very concerned about the climate crisis. There's a lot of federal and state money available for us to make people's homes more energy efficient, put solar panels on. As is, you can get up to 40% off right now in a solar project. It would pay for itself in about 4 to 5 years. You put the rest of the money in your pocket, help reduce your household costs to heat and cool your home. But Aurora is eligible for a lot more money, but we need to have the person who can write the programs. And then once we have that person working with the grant writers to get the money here, somebody who can go into the community with the ward older people to hold events very similar to this, to answer people's questions about reputable contractors, any questions about how to fill out the numerous amounts of paperwork that's necessary, and to avoid some of the scams that are out there. So I want to see a sustainability manager. I talked a little bit about having a more open and democratic budget process. We'll see how that goes. It'll be my first time. I'm still learning a lot of things. I talked about public safety, and then I guess Ron bringing me back into his life right around the time that we are actually having another vote on the casino. So there's going to be several votes about this. It's a very complex process called a TIF, Tax Increment Finance, and effectively, when we were there, they were talking about using $58 million of city money to subsidize a casino. And then shortly after that, the CEO of the casino, who makes $65 million a year, bought a company called Barstool, and he paid $550 million. It's a national company for all the little video gaming at bars and so forth. And then, about 2 or 3 months ago, he sold it for $1. So this guy is willing to take a $550 million loss, but he can't build a casino without our help. And I find that unconscionable. So the next series of votes on this is the TIF. I just want to explain it because it's complicated. You might read about it in the newspaper. It basically creates a box around the casino. And all of the property taxes, like you and I all pay property taxes for our homes that go to pay for the school, the parks, the libraries, instead of going to those taxing bodies, all the money stays in that development project and will be used in that development project only. It can't go back to the schools and public taxing bodies. So it's basically taking money out of our schools and subsidizing the casino. It'll repay that $50 million loan and an anticipated $8 million in interest, probably much higher now if they have to borrow at 7% versus what interest rates were back in 2022 when this whole process started. So there's a number of steps. The next step is called the Joint Review Board, when all the taxing bodies have to meet in a room. These things have typically been done without public input. I was elected on April 4th, and then on April 6th I attended the first JRB and took some people there. I intend to share with the community when those dates are going to be, so if you want to participate. I'll also be sharing the 9 budget meetings on social media and happy to email to anybody that wants to be on the list. I can send you, you can distribute it however you wish, so people can be more informed, engaged, listen about the process. So I've been very vocal about that, some of the subsidies. I do support the development of downtown as it pertains to things like the walk bridge, the Centauri Library. I think these are good developments that improve the quality of life in our communities and improve the property values. I also support a lot of the sort of events that we have. Like we had a really good event downtown that I was at today for the Aurora Fire Museum, Touch a Truck, so kids could come out And there's some other exciting things that are coming up where we voted, it's called a light show, interactive light show. And I guess this brought 1.4 million people to other cities, into their downtown areas. And I'm willing to spend and invest a little bit into some of those events and things that bring the community together. We will spend some money at the restaurant, support those people who have invested in our downtown. So there's going to be some exciting stuff, and if you want to write me an email, get on my email list, I'm happy to share that. It goes out sporadically. I do have a full-time job as I work for a state senator, and this has several benefits. It makes me aware of the grant dollars that are coming in, so I can send them on to the city management, and we can apply for grants and hopefully help reduce or maintain property taxes to a certain level. And then the other thing is I'm able to watch state legislation, because some things affect local government as well. And there's some things like even this whole TIF process, having sat through it at the municipal level, now I have a number of ideas how to change the state legislation about how these meetings are held. You know, they're typically 9 a.m. and who attends those meetings, because it's really a poorly informed member of the taxing body, like literally the person representing Wabanzi at the first TIF, the woman I went up and just asked to introduce myself, who is she, trying to get to know her, and she said, well, it's my last day, so they sent me down here to come vote yes. I'm like, so this person is not going to give care at all, and not ask the right questions, and I feel like having at least those questions being asked will help elevate the debate across our city. So anyway, just a few thoughts. I want to make sure that I take time for questions. And I typically carry a notebook, and then I continue to work on these projects as I in my time.
I think that is you are ready for the next round. I can
Yeah.
see that.
That shows the commitment.
So yeah, we can open for the questions people have done to correct. I think the first question Ravi was asking about that hands, right? Ravi? Oh yeah. So now probably for everyone, right? So
on request from our community, we have a pond there on the Filter Road. We already had people access.